What turns a beloved favorite into a forgotten memory? George Pig was once the heart of Peppa's adventures. Now, he's barely a shadow. What happened behind the scenes? Let's uncover the truth they don't want you to know. For years, George Pig was the shining star of the Peppa Pig universe, the beloved younger sibling, the adorable dinosaur-obsessed toddler who stole hearts and screen time alike. He was not only cherished by fans, but also doted on by Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig. From exclusive birthday outings to expensive robotic dinosaur toys, George had it all. But things have taken a sharp turn recently, and fans are starting to notice. George, once the golden boy, now seems to be slipping into the background. The golden era of George Pig. There was a time when George could do no wrong. Remember the episode George's New Dinosaur? His parents went out of their way to get him a brand new robotic dinosaur that could walk and talk, a toy that likely cost a small fortune. George loved it for a while, but ultimately cast it aside for his old favorite, Mr. Dinosaur. Despite the tantrums and the whims, he was still pampered. And who could forget George's birthday episode? Instead of a simple party at home like Peppa once had, George got a VIP tour of the City Museum. The entire building was shut down just for him, and to top it all off, he was gifted a massive inflatable dinosaur bouncer. By comparison, Peppa's birthdays were low-key affairs with little fanfare. It was abundantly clear George was the favorite. But that was before the arrival of baby Evie. A new baby, a new reality. Evie Pig's birth marks a major shift in the family dynamics. George, once the baby of the house, is now the middle child, a notoriously overlooked position in many families. He's no longer the adorable youngest, nor does he have the responsibility and independence of the eldest. He's stuck in the middle, and that comes with emotional consequences. George is likely to notice that his parents don't have as much time for him anymore. The lavish attention and thoughtful gifts may dry up. Birthday celebrations may become more modest. And worse, George will begin to feel the creeping sensation of being forgotten. It's not intentional, of course. Babies require constant care, and Mummy and Daddy Pig will naturally need to focus on Evie's needs. But for George, that shift will feel like abandonment. Sibling rivalry. George versus Evie. George's struggle isn't just about being ignored, it's also about competition. Peppa is likely to bond with her new sister. As girls, they may share similar interests, from dress-up games to favorite TV shows. George, with his fascination for dinosaurs and space, might feel left out. Peppa has long wished for a sister, and now she finally has one. This newfound bond could unintentionally push George further to the margins, and with Mummy and Daddy Pig devoting their attention to the newborn, George may feel jealousy for the first time in his life. Will this jealousy fester into resentment? Possibly, especially if George feels like Evie is replacing him not only in his parents' hearts, but also in Peppa's affections. Peppa and George, sisters before brothers? Peppa's role in this dynamic can't be overlooked. While she's always had a slightly bossy attitude toward George, she also occasionally showed genuine sibling affection. But with Evie's arrival, Peppa may begin to favor her baby sister, forming a girls' club and excluding George from their activities. We've already seen hints of this in past episodes. When Peppa didn't want boys at her tea party, Grandpa Pig had to build a separate treehouse for George and his friends. With Evie now in the picture, this exclusion might become more permanent. Likely, Peppa doesn't even realize how hurtful this behavior could be. From her perspective, she's just bonding with her new sibling. But to George, it's another sign that he's being pushed aside. Peppa's perspective, a long-awaited shift in power. It's worth noting that Peppa herself may not be acting purely out of spite. For years, she watched George receive the lion's share of attention, gifts, and parental praise. When George grabbed the remote during her favorite show, he didn't get scolded. When he broke line rules at the playground, he got away with it while others waited. Peppa likely felt sidelined during those years. Now that George is experiencing what she once did, Peppa might feel a bittersweet sense of justice. It's not the healthiest family dynamic, but it's very human. In fact, this shift could become a pivotal moment in both Peppa's and George's growth. Mummy Pig's divided time. One of the key reasons George feels forgotten is Mummy Pig's reduced availability. With Daddy Pig working full-time, much of the childcare falls to her, and taking care of a newborn is no small feat. Feeding, changing, and nurturing Evie will take up nearly all her energy, especially in the early months. George may often find himself wanting to play or seek comfort, only to be met with a distracted or exhausted mother. It's not about love, it's about bandwidth. But that won't make it any easier for George. A battle over dinosaurs? A particularly intriguing development involves George's most prized possession, his dinosaur toys. George has always been known for his love of dinosaurs, especially Mr. Dinosaur, the toy gifted to him by Grandpa Pig. Now, rumors suggest Daddy Pig might buy Evie a new toy, a flying dinosaur. Not just any dinosaur, but a flashy, possibly more advanced version than George's beloved Mr. Dinosaur. With the Pig family now wealthier and more famous, even reportedly giving birth at the same hospital as the royal family. There's no limit to what they might buy for their new baby. This could be the last straw for George. Seeing Evie receive a older toy may feel like a direct challenge to his identity. Will George abandon Mr. Dinosaur? Will he try to reclaim his place through bigger, bolder actions? Only time will tell. The turning point: Cousin Khloe's guidance. Luckily, George may not have to face these challenges alone. There's a high chance that his cousin Khloe Pig will step in to guide him. Khloe, who is older and more mature, has already shown wisdom beyond her years, especially in episodes involving her younger brother, baby Alexander. In one heartfelt moment, Khloe describes Alexander as a sweetheart, showing her acceptance of the attention he receives. If George confides in her, Khloe may help him understand that Evie's prominence isn't permanent or malicious. It's just a phase every older sibling experiences. This conversation could be a turning point for George, helping him mature and find peace with his new role. Growth through adversity. As hard as this transition is for George, it may be exactly what he needs to grow. Just as Peppa grew stronger and more independent when George arrived, George now has an opportunity to evolve. We may see George begin to speak more, take on new responsibilities, and even become more emotionally aware. He could start helping with Evie, forming a unique bond through caregiving. He might even become a role model for her, just like Peppa eventually became one for him. There's speculation that George may start resembling characters like Edmund Elephant, thoughtful, articulate, and mature beyond his years. Fans should brace themselves for a new version of George, not the baby of the family, but a smart, resilient young pig. From center stage to backstage, George's journey mirrors real-life family dynamics. Being dethroned as the youngest child is never easy, especially when you've been treated like royalty for so long. But George's story isn't just one of loss, it's one of transformation. He may feel ghosted now, but this experience will shape him into a deeper, more complex character. His pain, jealousy, and confusion are valid, but they're also part of growing up. As he navigates through these challenges, George will learn empathy, responsibility, and the true meaning of family. The Pig family's story is changing, and so is George. But even if he's no longer the baby, his role in the show and our hearts is far from over. What do you think happened to him? Was it just lazy writing, or something deeper? Let us know your theories in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this dive into the forgotten side of Peppa Pig, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more hidden stories and cartoon secrets.